Good morning, students, and welcome back once again to the online lectures of design of RCC and steel structural elements. So, in today's session, we are going to begin with that is the transverse bending and reinforcement design. So, in the last session, we had a discussion over how to design the longitudinal reinforcement. Okay, we calculated the area of steel required or to provide along the longitudinal direction. So in today's session I am going to discuss about the transverse bending and the reinforcement for transverse bending. Okay, so as I told you, suppose if you have the footing, the combined footing with two column A and B, okay, column A and column B. So the transverse bending, the behavior of the bending in transverse direction we can see here. So we can have this footing here and column, and subjected to the upward pressure, the green color what you can see, this is upward pressure. Subjected to upward pressure, the bending takes place. You can see the shape of the bending. Okay, so this I can say it's a transverse bending. How the transverse bending takes place? You can see here the bending shape of the, it is because of the pressure, it is a sagging. Okay, so you can see here this part. Okay, it is how the bending takes place in the footing, and for that we have to design the reinforcement. Okay, and one more, as I told you. Okay, so for the transverse bending, okay, if you observe here for transverse bending, okay, if I take out a section here and if I want to elaborate, so when the load through this column acting over the footing, and that load will get dispersed at an angle of 45 degree, as already I told you how the force will get dispersed. The force dispersed at an angle of 45 degree. Okay, so I can write here the load from the edges. I'll just write here the load from the edges of the column, the load from the edges of the column is assumed to be dispersed at an angle of 45 degree. So it will be assumed as the load will be dispersed at an angle of 45 degree. Okay, so here, okay, you can see the load will be dispersed at an angle of 45 degree. It is assumed. Okay, then with respect to that, you have to find out the width of strip in the transverse bending. What should be the width of strip in the transverse bending? So for that I have taken up a longitudinal section of footing and even a plan of the combined footing. Okay, this is a longitudinal section and how the load get dispersed at an angle of 45 degree I have shown with the green color. And with respect to that, if I project this here, if I project these lines, so you can find out the width of strip. Okay, the area, the governing area, okay, with respect to the transverse bending. Okay, now so we have to find out what should be the width of strip of this transverse bending. Okay, then so therefore, so we have to note down some other measurements what we have calculated already. Okay, so I think we know this, the distance from column A. So this distance we know that, I think it is 0.74. Okay, this you have to note down. Then also this This is 1.46 we already calculated. And even the depth of footing, so the depth of footing, so that is effective depth we already calculated, so that is we already has 5, sorry, it is I think 650, so it is 650 mm, correct, effective depth 650. And the total length of the footing also, that is not required here now, so we can have, and even the width of footing, this is the width of footing is 1.8 meter, it is 1.8 meter, correct. And this is column A, column B, A, B, and the size of column A, this weight is 350 by 350, this also, and this is 400 by 400, 350 by 350, 400 by 400, okay. Then okay, so you have to find out these two, the width of transverse bending under column A, so this is width of transverse bending under column A, this you have to find out, and under column B, these two you have to find out, under column A and even under column B, okay. So what I told you, so here if you check, so as I told you, because this depth is 650, that is 0.65, so this distance from here to here, this will be also 0.65, correct na? So same here you can write, from here to face of the column or edge of the column to the dispersion, if this is 650, this should be also 650, okay, because the dispersion is at 45 degree, so 0.65, understood? So now, so what should be the width of strip now? So 0.65 under column A, if you want to check under column A, it is 0.65 plus 0.35 plus 0.65, correct. In the previous problem, the available distance was less than the dispersion width. Now if you want to write this, I'll write this also. What is this? This much is, so this is 0.74 minus 0.35 by 2, correct na? So because this column size is 0.35, so we'll check here, 0.74 minus 0.35 by 2, so how much you'll get? Okay, so this will be 0.565, understood? So this distance is, so total is 0.74, it is from center, so this you have to deduct again here, half of the column width, so we'll get 0.74 minus 0.35 by 2, so we'll get 0.565. So this width of this total is available is 0.565, so this will go out here, okay, this will go out, you have to make small correction here, so I'll do it here only. So this should be how much? So I have to make it little bit like this, okay, this is wrong, so it will come out of this, so it will come out. So because I want 0.65, but it is available only how much? 0.565, available is only how much? 0.565. So what do you do? How can you calculate 0.65 plus 0.35 plus 0.565? Okay, the width of strip under column A, okay, I'll write here, I'll just show you. Okay, so So here width of transverse bending strip under column A, So this will be equal to 0.565 plus 0.35 plus 0.65. Correct na? Yes, I will show it here. Yes, here under column A it is 0.65 plus 0.35, that is the width of column or size of column. This distance is available is only 0.565. If suppose it was more than 0.65, then you have to take 0.65 only. Now this distance is less than 0.65, so the dispersion will go out of the edge of the footing. So that time you have to use 0.565 only. Okay, so 0.565 plus 0.35, yes, 0.565 plus 0.35 plus 0.65. Okay, so we will get this as this width, we will get it as 1.565 meter. 1.565 meter. Okay, then under column B, then under column B you are right. Okay, so next, width of transverse bending strip under column B, okay, so that 0.65 plus 0.4 plus 0.65, I'll just explain that. I'll explain that. So we'll get 1.48 meter under column B. So we'll get it is 1.48 meter. So how you get that? Yes, you can check out here. So this side it is 0.65 plus 0.4 and this side it is 0.65, because this distance is more here. The available offset from column B is more. So I can use 0.65 because that time the dispersion will not cross the edge of footing. The dispersion will not cross the edge of footing. As if you see here, the dispersion has crossed because 0.65 is more than 0.565. But here it will not happen like that. So that time what you can use 0.65 plus the column size, it is 0.4 plus 0.65. Okay, so total we will get it as 1.48 meter. Sorry, 1.7. It is not 1.48. Sorry, you make small correction here. You have to make it. It is 1.7 meter. It is 1.7 meter. Then after that, you have to go for next calculation. So we got the transverse bending strip. So we will go for bending moment. Okay. Then now transverse bending. So first it is under column A. You go for transverse bending under column A. Okay. So therefore here factored load per meter length, factored load per meter length, so you can call it as WA. So WA, the load acting over the column is okay 1.5 times 600 divided by the width is 1.8 into B. Okay. Okay. So the factored load per meter length WA, so that is the load acting over column A is 600, so 1.5 into 600 divided by width into per meter length, that is B. So this is per meter length, don't get confused. So this is per meter length. Okay, so this load will get it as 500 kilonewton per meter. So this is 500 kilonewton per meter. Okay. So now therefore bending moment, so therefore bending moment, so I can write MUA. So this is under column A, so I will write this MUA. Okay. So then if it is 500 load into the cantilever projection is 0.725 square, that is WL square by 2. Okay, so you can show it here. So this, the cantilever projection is here under column A. So this projection is 0.725. So this bending, okay, this projection you can check out. This projection is 0.725 under column A. So this bending, the bending will be like this. So this length you have to consider. So this is 0.725. Okay, I'll just so I'll write here point. So this we got it as 1.565. This is 1.7 meter. The width of strip under column A and under column B. Okay. So now we got it is WL square by 2. Cantilever projection with UDL. So this movement will get it as 131.46 kilonewton meter. Okay, 131.46 kilonewton meter. Then same way you have to find out area. So AST is equal to 0.5 FCK is 20 upon Fy is 415 into bracket of 1 minus square root of 1 minus 4.6. Okay, the mu is 131.46 into 10 to 6 upon FCK. And the width of strip B is here. The width of strip is 1.1565 into D. So D we have to take it as 634 square into 1565 B D 634. Okay. So D again here. Why this 634 means, as I told you, D for main reinforcement is 650, but if you calculate that for transverse reinforcement, 650 minus the dia by 2 you have to make it 16 by 2 minus again 16 by 2. So this is for the main reinforcement and this is for the transverse reinforcement. So we'll get this as 634. Okay. So with respect to that, you have to find out the area of steel. Okay, so here we'll get the area of steel as, here 581.01 mm square. Okay, 581.01 mm square. Okay, then again you have to check for transverse reinforce the AST minimum. So AST minimum, you have to check for AST minimum. So again it is 0.12% of BD, you have to make it. Correct na? 0.12% of BD. So divided by 100, 0.12% BD. So 0.12, B is 1565 into depth is 6, sorry, the total depth you have to take it. So this is 700, the total depth is 700 divided by 100. So we'll get it as, I'll just check out, 0.12 into 1565 into 700 divided by 100. So this will get it as 1314.6 mm square. Okay, so which is more than AST, which is more than AST. So therefore AST is equal to AST minimum, that is 1314.6 mm square. Okay, it is 1314.6 mm square. Okay, then same you have to calculate for under column B. You have to calculate for under column B. So I'll just calculate the factor load here. Later on you have to continue with the same calculation. So that is factored load per meter length. That is, the load on the column is 900, 1.5 into 900 divided by 1.8 into perimeter width 1. So we'll get this as WB, I'll call it as WB. So we'll get this as 750 kilonewton per meter. So again the MUB here. So we'll get this as 750, and the projection, the cantilever projection under column B is 0.7. So 750 into 0.7 square divided by 2. So this will get it as 183.75 kilonewton meter. Okay, 183.75 kilonewton meter. This value. So the projection here you can see projection. This projection under column B is here 0.7. Projection under column B is 0.7. Okay, understood? Okay, so further you have to go with the same calculation. You have to check out with the same, and you have to find out the AST in the transverse direction, that is under column P. Okay, now after that, okay, that is for your, I can say you can calculate as a homework. Now we will go for check for shear. Okay, check for shear. Check for shear. Check for shear. So one way, first is one way shear. So as I told you in the first lecture, okay, the critical section in one way shear, you can write here, the critical section in one way shear is at a distance of is at a distance d. D is the depth from face of the column, from face of the column. So we'll just draw the single line diagram. So you can, okay, so if you have this and the column B maximum loaded, so this is column B to the center. Okay, and here we have column A, this is column B, so this is A and this is B, and below that we have the upward pressure right here. And this upward pressure is 258.62 kilonewton per meter square. Okay, already we have got that value. And the one more is so this distance is already we have got it as this distance from center of column B from here to here. It is 1.46. It is 1.46, and the critical section will be, I'll just consider here the critical section. It is at a distance d from the face of the column, so this will be D. This is D, okay, which is nothing but 0.65, the effective depth D. So this, the total distance here, it will be, the total it will be, so this is 1.46, I'll write here. So from this, if you want, I'll write from this side 0.65. So this is 0.65 plus half of the column, because it is from the face of the column, so you have to come to the center, so that is 0.4 by 2, because the size of the column is 400, 1.46. This plus half of the column plus offset, so we'll get this as 2.31 meter. We'll get this as 2.31 meter. Understood? Okay. Then after that, so we'll go for shear force. So therefore, shear force is equal to minus 258.62 into 2.31 plus 900. The column load 900. So we'll get this as 302.58 kilonewton. Therefore, factored shear force, this is VU, it is 1.5 times 302.58. So this is factored. So we'll get this as 453.88 kilonewton. So we get this as 453.88 kilonewton. Okay. So therefore, nominal shear stress tau V is equal to VU by PD. VU by BD. So VU already we have calculated here. So 453.88 into 10⁻³ divided by B is 1800 into depth is 650. Okay. So we will get this as 0.38 Newton per mm square. The value of tau we will get it as, I'll just make a box here, it is 0.38 Newton per mm square. Then also permissible shear stress tau c as per table number 19 of IS 456. Table number 19 of IS 456. Okay. So here for that you have to find out what is PT. AST provided first, because we are checking under column B, so you have to check the AST provided under column B. So how we can find out that? So the spacing, the diameter pi by 4 into 16 square, we have provided 16 mm dia. So area of that divided by spacing we have assumed as 190. If you go and check, we have assumed the spacing as 190 into 1800, that is width. So we will get this AST as, the AST provided will be 1904.21 mm square. First you have to find out the AST provided, 1904. Okay. Then after that PT, it will be 1904.21 divided by 1800B, depth 650 into 100. AST by BD, what? AST by BD into 100. So this will get it as 0.16%. 0.16%. Okay. Now what you have to do? You have to go to the table number 19 of IS 456. From there you have to find out the value of tau c. So by referring IS 456, we will get tau c is equal to 0.3 Newton per mm square. So we got it is 0.3 Newton per mm square. Understood? Now if you check the value of tau v and tau c, again here if you check, tau v is more than tau c, but the difference is very less. It is 0.38 and 0.3. As per the rule, we have to revise the design here, but no need to revise again here. So I can write. So here tau v is more than tau c. Tau v is more than tau c. Hence redesign the footing by increasing the depth of footing. This much you write, and you can continue with the further part. What you write? Hence tau v is more than tau c. Hence redesign the footing by increasing the depth of footing. Okay. So in no case tau v should not be more than tau c, because we cannot provide shear reinforcement in footing. So that's why you have to redesign. In redesign means you have to increase the depth of footing. Okay. So this much you write it, because the difference is very less. 0.08 difference is there. So there is no much worry of that. So you can write a note and you can continue with the further part. Okay. Now next we have to go for two-way shear. Two-way shear. So in two-way shear, as I told you, again the critical section you have to check out. So again, as per IS 456, the critical section in two-way shear two-way shear at distance of d by 2 from face of the column. It is at distance d by 2 from face of the column. Okay, so I'll just I'll draw the critical part. And we have the column here. So you have to consider maximum loaded column. So column B. And this distance, as I told you, this will be d by 2. This is also d by 2, at distance d by 2 from the face of the column. So we have to find out this length now. So this will be, the size of the column is 0.4. So if I write it here, 0.4 plus d by 2 plus d by 2. So it is nothing but 0.4 plus d. It is nothing but what? 0.4 plus d by 2 plus d by 2 means nothing but 0.4 plus d. So we will get this distance as 1.05 meter or 1050 mm. Understood? Clear? Okay. Then, so therefore here, the design shear force is, it is V VU sorry, it is V only, V 900 minus the perimeter length 1.05 by 1.05 into the upward pressure is 143.67. The upward pressure, it is 143.67. So we this as 741.59 kilonewton. Upward pressure, how you get upward pressure? 900 plus 600 divided by 10. Okay, so this how you will get upward pressure here. This, if you want, I'll show it here how you get this. So the load is 900 plus 600 and area provided is 10.44. You can go back and check the provided area is 10.44. So we will get the upward pressure is 143.67 kilonewton per meter square. Okay, 143.67, that you have to use here. Then therefore tau V is equal to this V 741.59 into 10⁻³ divided by 4 times perimeter 1050, because 1 2 3 4 times into 650, that is the depth. So we will get tau V is equal to 0.27 Newton per mm square. Okay, tau V. Now we have to check for permissible shear stress. Tau C dash is equal to Ks into tau C. Ks into tau C. So we have to find out here one by one. So Ks is 0.5 plus beta c as per IS 456 again, where beta c is equal to ratio of the column, size of the column, 0.4 by 0.4 is equal to 1. So we'll get Ks is equal to 0.5 plus beta c is 1. So this is 1.5, and it should not be more than 1. So therefore you have to use Ks is equal to 1 only. You have to use Ks is equal to 1 only. And the value of tau c here, I can write here, the value of tau c is 0.25 square root of FCK, that is 20. So we will get this value as 1.11. So therefore tau c dash is equal to Ks is 1 and tau c is 1.11. So we will get tau c dash is 1.11 Newton per mm square. And this is the value of tau c. So I can write here. Here tau v is less than tau c dash. Hence safe in two-way shear. Understood? So this is regarding the second problem. So you go through the steps, go through the calculation, and if you get any queries, you can contact me. Okay? Thank you very much.